So many players were expecting elemental weaknesses to be a more prominent feature for these titans. You know, fire and ice. You can kind of understand it. Can you explain a bit more, maybe Manked and Daizong, a little bit about how the approach that you took in designing this encounter itself?
Yeah, sure. So the initial design goal of this boss combat is to design an engaging and fun dual boss fight, teaching the gear switching skills and also fill the gap of players' journey, for mid-level players. So, in our design, the magic is actually used for control the combat, like clearing the fire and the ice obstacles on the ground and also taking out the minions. So while the melee and the range are more the ones used to damage the boss whenever it's possible. So well, actually, we do have the elemental weakness been set on the boss before, but however, during our internal playtest, it feels like it may confuse the player. It might encouraging them to casting the elemental spell on the boss, which might not work very well because the high magic defense we're putting on the boss, and because we want to promote the gear switching here. So and also it may not, which means it doesn't really fit into our design goals of this boss. So eventually, we decided to remove this. Hopefully, that would give you a good explanation of that.
Fair enough, makes sense. Thank you so much for that. So carrying on, Manked and Daizong, I'm gonna hand this over to you as well. So in an older blog, we said that players will be able to take on the Titans in larger groups as well. Why did we cut that player limit back down to 2?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question, actually. So initially, we did plan to allow a large group of players in the combat. I think we allow for 20, I think. So however, during the development, we realized that maybe it's better to utilize the design for the best experience for the dual play. So, allowing more player in the combat, doesn't really helping with that experience. And also it will also create some bugs during the combat, with too many players. So eventually, yes, that's why we decided to limit the combat with only 2 players.
Awesome. I feel like we blasted on through these. Please do, like I said, drop questions in the chat. I'm gonna point this next one to you, Manked. So it's still early days, but are there any changes that you're considering for this fight at this point?
Yeah, so I think overall quite happy with the fight. I think there's been suggestions via various sources of adjusting the minions so there's no attack delay on them. And we did originally have that, but we felt it might be nicer to mix it up a little bit. And there are some mechanics that players haven't discovered to an extent with the minions. So I don't know whether I should say it or not, but yeah, no, there's a reduction in attack delay when you are killing them. So it is, feasible to kill them and not have to wait like another 4 or 5 ticks to be able to kill them again. So hopefully kind of that helps. Actually, I'll explain the mechanic because I've pretty much explained it. But basically, when you kill one minion, you have 1 attack delay or 1 tick. Everyone will know them as ticks. Reduced. So if you use a fire spell and you kill all 3 in one go, your next attack will be 3 ticks sooner. So obviously, as you probably have seen, you're attacking quite soon after you've done one of the spells on the minions. So overall, you are spending another 2 to 3 ticks killing the minions, but I think that it flows quite well. And if we made it 0 time, it might be a bit OP. But I think it works quite well. So I don't think we will change it. Maybe just keep an eye on it for a little bit and see what players think. But yeah, for minions, I think it's pretty good. Obviously, we've got some small fixes with the hitboxes for the fire elemental. We saw that was quite big, so artists have looked at that and should hopefully be able to adjust that for next Wednesday. The looting mechanics, I saw some comments earlier actually in the chat about if you're soloing it, you should be able to loot both. But no, we want to make sure that this is, you're encouraged to duo. It's not extremely beneficial to solo. We want people to go find a friend and go duo this boss. Is there a way to spectate? That's a great question. We don't have one, and we probably won't make one, but that's awesome. Maybe ask the people to stream. But yeah, no, I think overall quite happy with the boss. Can't think of. There are some small changes we are making, and that is purely based on feedback that we've seen. But it's very minimal. I've seen, yeah. So again, I've just seen in the chat, make the pages tradable. If we did that, we'd make a buyable like rune crafting. Like you could literally pay like 5 bill and then get 99 rune crafting instantly. So I don't think we'd do that. But yeah, no, I think overall quite happy. But if you do have feedback about things you'd like to see changed, make sure you do leave it, because we're always reading and gathering feedback to make these fights as good as possible.
Absolutely. The best places for that is Reddit, on the Reddit thread for this, but also in Discord. Us, especially the community managers, hang out in Discord quite a lot, picking up your feedback. And there is actually you can use the game update channel, but there is also a dedicated Royal Titans forum thread in there as well that you can use if you want. So Manked again.
Yep.
Is there anything that you can share on the mechanics for pet rolls?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah. So for the pet, obviously we wanted to again encourage people to do it as a duo, and if you make it based on contribution, then you're pretty much just best off just soloing. Well, it depends. But for the pet specifically, it is not based on contribution. There's no MVP system. Both of you have an equal shot of getting it. So the quicker you kill the boss, the more rolls you're going to have every hour. So yeah, you want to duo with someone if you specifically want to go for that pet as soon as possible. Or already seen a lot of pet rolls, which is great to see, and very jealous of them. But yeah, no, we really wanted to encourage people to duo, and it just felt like making that pet more obtainable in a duo means, pet hunters can team up with someone and go for that grind together, and I don't know, it feels quite nice.
I'm always jealous of anyone with pet rolls. It's like 90% of my motivation with old school is pets. Awesome, yeah, thank you so much. I think that like a lot of people are going to be really happy with that. Yeah, awesome. So I'm gonna jump to a question for you, Manked and Daizong, if that's okay. So how long after the fight starts can I join my friend?
Yep. Well, I did turn up the volume. How does that look for now? Does that sound all right? The sound?
I think so.
Okay, cool. All right. Yes. So when the boss HP has been dropped below 85% with total 60, I think that gives us 510. Yeah. Then the player cannot join the arena anymore. So I think it's because if we allowing player join the combat too late, it causes some issues for the things like reward distribution. Do we consider that a kill count or not? And it also could cause some problems for some like for the things like some of the combat achievement we are actually currently working on. So. And also, there could be some problem with the group Ironman player, for losing their prestige if player join at very later stage and ruin the combat for them. However, seeing that, I think we can try to tweak the condition to allow the player join with the boss's HP a bit lower than the current one, if that fits better for players' need. And I say we still need to find the balance there. Like we need some investigation and test there, but hopefully we can have some good news for the players soon in the update.
Awesome. And speaking of needing a friend to do this, obviously, like you do see, this can be a bit tricky sometimes to find someone like around to do these activities with. Manked, are there any plans for some sort of grouping system so that we don't need to add everybody that you'd want to duo with?
So you can, if you want to risk it with anyone joining your fight, you can just I believe you can just turn your friends to on, and then when you go in, anyone can join you. So you don't need to add the person, but then obviously you've got the risk of some random person joining you. Obviously, it's not very likely to happen if you've told a specific person to join. So I don't think we're going to specifically do a grouping system for this. But you can go to one of the Royal Titans worlds. I think we've got 4 of them allocated. I've been using them. I teamed up this morning before work. I went there, I found a random person, and I killed the boss with them, which was great. They had no idea that they were playing with, the person who contributed to making it, so it was great. And they were awesome. They were really good. We will be adding the grouping clan chat in the near future. I did see a post on Reddit. Someone had made a friends chat, for people to join, but we will be doing that as part of this update coming on Wednesday. So you'll be able to find people through that as well if you don't want to go to the specific allocated worlds.
Awesome. I'm gonna add in a little bit here too. Like I do my thing where I'm like, go to Discord, but on our official server we do have a section where you can find both clans but also just people who are looking for a game. So you could go in there and ask around, and people might be like willing to jump in with you for a bit. Definitely utilize that space if you're looking for people to get involved with. Okay. I am going to jump back a little bit. Modmax, this is another one for yourself. But we've seen that some players feel like they're splashing often against the Titan's minions. Is there anything that you could share that might help people tweak their setup?
Yeah, so there is a system behind it all, and you might notice when you start using more magic armor or gear, you splash less, which is a crazy concept. But we do have a threshold, which is actually 70. So if you have 70 magic accuracy, then you will never splash. And we also have like a base. If you're 0 or below, it will always be 30%. So basically every 1 magic accuracy that you have increases your chance of not splashing by 1%. So at 70, it becomes 100%. So that's literally the reasoning behind why you might be splashing. So for example, what I've been doing is my account's pretty much at the Royal Titans demographic for the players. So I've been camping a defender and dragon boots, but then using mystic top and bottom, mystic air staff, and imbued magic cape. So and that gets me to 75. So you don't need crazy gear to be able to hit that. And yeah, I'm minimizing my switches because obviously you have to switch a lot. So I'm just doing 4 ways.
Awesome.
And oh yeah, sorry, I'm just saying what do magic levels do? They don't do anything. It's entirely, obviously this boss is to encourage gear switching, so it's entirely dependent on what gear you're bringing.
Awesome, thank you. So we're sort of talking about getting used to gear switching, and that's the main aim of this, I guess. Where do you feel like the Royal Titans slot into a player's journey? Is there an appetite at the moment for more of these kind of bosses that introduce players to fundamental mechanics? What are we thinking?
Yeah, I think so far we've got a nice journey right now in old school. You start off the game, you go kill some goblins for a while, you start doing some quests, then maybe think, okay, I'm going to start doing some PVM. You go to Scurious, you go to maybe Barrows, you go to Perilous Moons, you get your Fire Cape, then maybe you go to Huey, and then you come to the Royal Titans, and then you go to Zulrah, and then you eventually start raiding. I think we've got a really good path right now. So I think the Royal Titans slot into that part where you've gone to maybe Perilous Moons, you've got that gear to be able to slay the Titans relatively easily, and then you can use that to go to Zulrah, and then keep on getting your progression with like the magic with the magic fang to make your trident better. Yeah, trident better. And then you can go do raids. So I think it slots in nicely there. And I think we've done a good job of like teaching players. We've got Scarius for the overheads, we've got Perilous Moons for the movement, and now we've got the Royal Titans for gear switching. So hopefully that's a nice combo to help players get to that end game content.
For sure. Seeing someone asking if someone can post the Discord link, it's literally !Discord. It should bring it up as a command in the chat for you. Okay, so we have been picking up some Twitch chat questions now. So I am going to hop into those. Just jump in and answer whichever ones that you would like to answer. So would you consider making an update to the Twin Staff where it can act as an infinite resource of some runes? Infinite source, sorry, of some runes.
So currently it does. It acts as a infinite source for, I want to say, fire and water. I think it already does do that. I think in the actual fight it doesn't promote swapping because you don't have to like choose the individual spells, but that's kind of like one of the benefits of the staff. So that, and obviously the echo effect for kind of mid-tier spells. So yeah, it is already built in. I wonder if they were talking about a different source, so maybe like chaos runes or something, but that would probably be very powerful, especially for like training mage. It'd be overpowered.
Fair enough. Why did we opt to make the prayer scrolls untradeable?
It just feels like with Rigor and Augury being tradable, if we made these prayer scrolls tradable, the value of them would be relatively low, because if you're a normal account, the time it takes to get to like 77 prayer, for example, is not that many hours, and obviously you can buy the best scrolls, so you don't need the scrolls. So it just felt like a nice way for people to get a nice upgrade to their accounts without, making the prayer scrolls just be really cheap, and for someone to just, log in, buy the scroll and use it.
Awesome. Can we mount the Giantsoul Amulet in our player-owned houses?
I don't know what we've done historically for new amulets. I feel like we haven't done that in a while, and it's probably because it's quite OP. I'm personally not against it, but I feel like there's probably a reason. So I don't want to step on any toes. So I'm gonna say for now, probably not. But maybe if there's further discussion, maybe someone does it as a game jam. They add all of the current amulets and stuff that hasn't been added to the PH to the POH. Maybe that could happen.
Cool. I don't know if this one connects directly to that one. It may or may not. What about Obor? Oh, is that how you say it? Obor and Bryophyta.
You got this.
Bryophyta keys.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that we have some discussion in our design to see, do we actually want to include those keys in our part of the reward thing, but then I think the thing is there are some actually discussion about what we want to do with the key system. Some people don't like it. It's to be feel annoying to actually be trying to grant for getting the keys there, or do we actually, if we give in there, but also maybe devalue the other part where you get the key there. So there are a lot of potential discussion and the changing. We are talking about the keys, so that's why we think maybe for the real Titan, for now, we just leave them as it is. We'll leave that for the future. We decided what we want to do with the key system itself, and then maybe there could be something we can do there.
Awesome. Also, guys, in the chat, giving me grief for how I pronounce that. There are some words that you only ever see written down, okay? And then suddenly you have to pronounce them, and it's like, nope, my brain doesn't work like this. So, moving on, anyway. Thank you so much for that, though. Do you have any concerns about Mystic Vigour being quite close to Augury in power?
Yeah, I think just how mage works in general, they are quite close. But I think at the same time, there is a significant gap between them in terms of numbers. So they may not necessarily feel massive, like a massive difference right now. I'm sure, in the future, if things do get reworked, not saying they are, but if they do, then that could be like a obvious difference. But again, I think overall it's fine. You've still got that significant upgrade. It is going to be a boost, so it should be fine.
Cool. I'm going to jump us back to the staff again. I probably should group these thematically, but going back to the staff, will it ever get the passive effect on surge spells but with reduced damage %?
Well, so I don't think so. I think it sits nicely kind of where it is. I have seen a bunch of people suggesting, oh, make it work for surge spells, but then you do kind of just negate the need for a harmonized staff. And it will just compete with that, and that's not the intent for the staff. It's for mid game, it's before you get like a trident, or in the future a harmonized staff, or so yeah, it fits nicely where it is now, and I don't think we should make it better or adjust that. I think it's pretty good where it is, so I don't think we'll do that.
Cool. And sticking with the staff, so this comment here says the Twinflame Staff has been really cool to see. When designing it outside of the boss, what other applications did you guys see in mind for it? Seems like a great staff for Slayer and Barrows. Was that an intended or unintended positive consequence?
Yeah, so the staff, it was designed in this thought process that would have the page system as well. So you could get more pages from the bosses too, because right now, if you think about where you get pages from, you obviously get it from their current sources, which is like Temporos, Huey, and Wintertodd. And it's quite unreliable, and it can be frustrating. If you actually want to use elemental spells, you have to go do a lot of that content to then use those pages really quickly. So this hopefully is a way for you to get a cool staff that you can use during Slayer, and you can also top up those pages for, like, whenever you want as well. So hopefully for someone who's training Slayer, doing Barrows, they can get that relatively early into their journey and then use it quite a bit before they end up getting like 87 Slayer for the Trident and all of that later on in the game. So hopefully it fits in nicely there, and it's a bit of fun as well. It's very different. You never know with RuneScape in the future what direction it's going to take. What content there's going to be that this could be really good. Like for example, Zulrah, it's very strong there because there's a hit cap. So in the future there might be another boss that has a hit cap, and then it can be used there as well.
Awesome. Let's see if there's any more staff ones. There is. What was the reasoning behind not giving the Twinflame Staff any magic strength whatsoever?
So it's similar to the Smoke Battle Staff, where it does, I think it's 10% just for elemental spells, but I don't think we typically show that on the actual UI. So it's got some, but not for all spells. And that's again just because we want it to lean heavily into elemental weaknesses and that kind of gameplay, instead of making it like just a staff you can use kind of wherever. So that was the main reason for that.
Awesome. Thank you. So I've got one question here. Is it a bug that you can't click the fire and ice wall to make it disappear? You have to select the spell manually. I thought it should work like the fire wall fire world. That's in Chivalry Zarek.
Yeah, so interesting. No, that's actually we initially set up the fight like that, so you can just one click to do the things. But then we think that one thing is we are promoting the dual play there. Having the both player to setting on each on fire and on ice would be helping them to to promote this dual play. And also we have the minions that is also fire and ice. If we allowing the auto click on the fire and ice on the ground, what about the minions? There might be causing some, and we definitely don't want player to auto click the minion to select click the minion to auto select the spell for them, because that would be that not really helping with the dual play there. So we think that might causing some inconsistent there. So that's why eventually we get some feedback from during our internal playtests in the development. So that's why eventually we decided it'd be good, player have to select the spell manually.
Awesome.
Just to jump in there, yeah, you can. I've seen it in chat. You can just set it to cast on your staff, and then obviously because there's two of you, if you can just literally switch to your staff and then left click the ice if you're using fire spells, and then fire if you're using water spells. So if both of you have one selected, then you can just literally, it's not one click to get rid of it, it's 2 clicks, but it should feel fine.
And to add for that, actually, I think the Twin Flames is actually doing the thing. You can click, you just need to click it with the proper rune there, and it will be automatically select the proper spell to do that. Which is also one of the reasons we do this. It's kind of promoting the reward from the boss fight is the Twin Flame to helping in this boss fight.
Cool. Thank you. I've seen a lot of questions in chat around drop rates. We generally will be speaking about drop rates in probably like a couple of weeks. Just because, we like you to go and just like have fun with it and try it out. Is there anything, I don't know, I feel like this is unprepared, but is there anything that we do want to share around drop rates?
I can say that in terms of duo or solo, it doesn't necessarily matter which one you're doing, but in a duo, the fight will be much easier. So in general, it's like the obvious choice to go duo. Obviously, if you don't want a duo, then go solo. But I think just to make your life easier, much better to duo.
Yeah, and we will let you know the drop rates in a bit, but not today. So, are you happy with the amount of gear switching that's required with this, or do you have any concerns about physical fatigue from the frequency of switches required?
Yeah, I think we've not kind of forced people to do a lot of gear switches. You can kind of set it up how you like, Obviously with the magic switch, I was doing 4 ways, so I guess it all depends on individuals. But I think doing like a 4-way relatively frequently, it's not that bad. Again, really depends on yourself. On how much you're used to switching. Obviously, new players that are switching, they're going to switch less items. So you kind of trade off how frequently you switch for the accuracy on the minions. But for the bosses themselves, if you go there with a full eclipse set and then you have a 1-way melee weapon switch, that's your range and melee pretty much covered in a 1-way switch. And then your mage can be like a 3, maybe 4-way switch. So that should be relatively easy to manage, but obviously make sure you take breaks. I know we do say it in game, but if you're feeling your wrist getting hurting or something, then yeah, make sure you do take breaks. We did actually factor this in to the drop rates, so it's why we've not been too punishing for the drop rates. So we don't want to keep you there for way too long and force you to constantly switch.
Cool. Would you ever consider making? We kind of touched on this already a little bit. But is there a consideration at all to ever let the boss allow you to take more than 2 people to the fight, basically, to the boss?
Not at the moment, I think, because I think the design is for dual players to get experience there. And also, like I said, if you allowing more players there it doesn't help with the experience, but also might creating some bugs during the transition of the boss, and also with speed. And also, it's about like reward distribution. It all might be some issues there. So I think it'd be better we just leave it as dual boss there. That's also what's the goal of the design there. That's what we did. What this boss is for. So I guess for the group player want to play it, we do have a lot of other group content that for them to try. So, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And we did kind of go over it earlier as well. So if you've joined us after that, the VOD will be around that you can go back and catch up on it if you would like to. Should we expect a fix for quick prayers not working correctly with new prayers?
So for that specific one, I know I am currently working on a prayer job. I'm not sure if it relates to that specific issue. So whoever is saying that issue in chat, if you want to maybe give more information as to what the exact issue is, that would be great. Hopefully it's covered by the job I'm currently working on. But yeah, if not, it'd be great to have more information for that.
Awesome. I've got one here that is just hard mode titans ?
maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's. I think we got a similar question when we released the Scaries about like the hard mode things. I think one of the reason we didn't do that Scary and could be same apply to here is this is some content design for the mid-level players, and also it could be the mechanic is there for mid-level, and we have a purpose of the training the gear switching there. So I don't want to just adding a lot of HP, reducing the attacking rate simply just say that's hard mode. I think if we want something more challenge, would be something more designed for the challenge. I think.
Mm-hmm. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
like we saw with leagues, they do crazy things, and they made those echo bosses, right? So maybe leagues will do it again or something like that in the future too.
Awesome. Okay. I feel like are we addressing an elephant in the room here? Mac, do you want to talk all about Chivalry or a melee upgrade?
Yeah, so obviously, personally, as a PK, I'd have loved for Chivalry to pass. It didn't pass a poll, so that's why it's kind of in an awkward state. But maybe in the future we could have an upgrade similar to how we did for Mystic Might and Eagle Eye for Ultimate Strength, and I want to say Incredible Reflexes. I might be wrong, but maybe we can have an upgrade for those. I did see a post where it was having them at like 55 prayer or something. Obviously not having any defense bonus, but something like that from an encounter. I'm not sure what encounter it would come from, but yeah, I'm very open to that. I think obviously in the polls that we've seen for Chivalry, there are quite a lot of people that are just against changing it in general. So maybe we have to go down a different route if people do specifically want them. But again, it'll be down to a vote. So if players don't want those upgrades, they can vote no as well.
Awesome, thank you. Grabbing a question I've just seen in here: will we see combat achievements for these titans?
Yep. We are working on the combat treatment apparently. We have combat treatment for all the boss we've been released. So that's I think people are expecting this to happen. So yeah. Hopefully bring you more news when we get more progress on the combat achievement we've been working on.
Awesome. Is there any future plans or ideas to make giant-like bosses, or are the Royal Titans the end for that boss type?
Maybe.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it kind of just depends on the vision of the game, I guess. For the Royal Titans specifically, it was kind of the obvious step because we were lacking a like Fire Giant and Ice Giant boss encounter. So we've done that now, but yeah, maybe in the future, who knows?
And why do the bosses have a 700 plus range defense, yet range hits much better than that?
Yeah. So obviously, again, we wanted to make it a tribrid fight. So you're encouraged to do all 3 styles of combat. And we wanted to make sure that you couldn't just, stand there and just range them the entire time. So we added some range defense. So when they are close, your range is not doing that much, but when they are far away from you, and I don't mean relative, I don't mean you can stand like really far away from them, and then when they're in melee range, you'll do better with range. No, that's not how it works. When they're far away from like the middle arena, you'll do their defense will be lower, and you'll be able to hit a lot more consistently. So it's just a way to try and encourage that. Use melee when they're close, use range when they're far.
Awesome, thank you. So it's looking like that's the end of my list of questions that we've pulled. Is there anything that we've kind of not touched on with these questions that you two would want to highlight or chat about?
I don't know. I mean, look through chat and see any questions. Like you can 100% bow for the entire fight. Yeah, I think it goes kind of to the core of it, right? You can technically just use one style to kill the bosses, but the overall time to do that will be a lot slower. So that's why we kind of try and encourage you to do switches, because overall you'll make the fight faster for yourself. But again, if you're not comfortable with that, you can kind of take it at your own pace. You can bring a friend with you, maybe to help them or be aided by them. So yeah.
Awesome. Was there any others that you spotted going through the chat?
I think there were earlier for the amulet specifically, if you did miss it, or be looking to let you use the amulets on the odd old man, who is a keen collector of various bones and various things. And he will reward you with some big bones that you can use on the one remaining amulet that you do want to keep with you. So you can stock up on big bones that way instead of, going to the hill giants at Korenz that I recently visited to go kill a bunch so I could get charges. Yeah.
Awesome. So I think there's a question I've just spotted being pulled in. I think this might relate to what we said already about just like general drop rates, but does contribution affect your chance at a scroll, or is it always equal for everyone?
So it is based on contribution, but the way we've scaled it means if you're solo or duo, it doesn't really matter, because if you're in a solo, then the kill time is going to take longer, so you're going to have a better chance of getting it, but you're going to take longer to actually get the kills. Whereas if you're in a duo, your chance is technically going to be worse, but you're going to be getting the opportunity twice as often, so it's the same. So yeah, a duo or solo is relatively the same. Obviously, for a pet, that is always the same rate. So pet definitely in a duo is much better.
Awesome. Okay, I think that's pretty much us wrapped up. So I do want to just also shout out, we did a banner design competition in Discord, where we asked you guys to design a Royal Titans themed banner to be displayed in our Discord server. We did have a winner of that. It was a user named Phantom. So if you head into Discord, you can see that up at the top. I just wanted to give him a bit of a shout out because it was awesome. I absolutely loved the King Queen card motif that they used. So to wrap us up today, I am going to go back through our announcements. So you can do !RT. Royal Titans are here, if you didn't know. You can check out the news post that we put out yesterday along with the update to find out all about the encounter, how to get involved, and mastering gear switching. You can do !Valamar. The Valamar Final Dawn poll is live now. This is covering just the quest, Slayer Dungeon, and Nagawa rewards. It will be open until the 12th. As I said at the beginning, Delve Boss rewards are on pause for now. So we're just focusing on those three. You can read all about it in the blog that is linked with that command. We have !Birthday. We have a birthday cake themed competition that you can take part in. Cook up something, decorate it old school style, share it on Discord and in the dedicated Reddit thread once it opens on February 10th, and you could be in with a chance of winning some prizes. I don't have the prizes in this list, so I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you yet, but they're cool. Have a look out for it. I think we'll be doing the proper announcement for it tomorrow, and we'll be sharing the prizes there. And then you can do !Discord, which will take you to our official Discord server, where we have more 12th birthday celebrations going on, including a lot of new activities, and we'd love you to share your memories from the last 12 years of Old School, or however long you've been playing. Favourite screenshots, big moments, clips, just tell us about them in text. That's cool too. And we also have the tattoo suggestion channel where you can put in what you would like to see in tattoo style, and Mod Jerv and Skylark will be picking up their favourite ones or random ones. I don't know how they're doing it. They'll draw some up. We'll show you them. It'll be awesome. But I will also say you can also go there, like I said before, to also meet people if you'd like to try and find other people to go and do Royal Titans with. Find the looking for group channels, and yeah, find someone to team up with. So that's it for us today. Thank you so much, Mod Daizong, Mod Manked, for joining me today for the first stream back after Christmas. We're really glad to be back with you guys. And yeah, is there anything that you want to close out with, either of you?
Yeah, just thank you all for playing the content and getting involved and helping out maybe people that are newer to the content as well. I mean, obviously everyone's new to it, but yeah, thanks for just teaming up and having a good time together. And yeah, take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, just say thank you for watching and hope you enjoy the Royal Titan fighting with a friend.
Amazing. Okay. We'll catch you next time. Bye.